Welcome to the Journey Girl Magic Podcast. I am Nikita Burks-Hale, life coach and your personal journey guide. This podcast is for the wanderers, the doers, and action takers. I'm here to empower women and women of color to live their best lives by showing up, being vulnerable, practicing gratitude, being a badass, and most importantly, enjoying the ride. This imperfect podcast is for you as you live your life and become the best version of yourself. So let's journey together. Let's get started. Hey everyone, it's Nikita, and welcome to another episode of the Journey Girl Magic Podcast. Now here in the U.S., we are only a couple of days away from the Thanksgiving holiday. This month, I also kicked off my 30-day gratitude journey and have been knee-deep in that. My goal this holiday season, and actually for the remainder of the year, has been to incorporate more moments of gratitude in my daily life. I have intentionally placed gratitude-related things in my life to help me with this, including the gratitude challenge I just mentioned and doing my journey guide planner each day. Well, almost each day. It's still a work in progress. So now when I first started creating content for this episode and thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I naturally was going to list the 9 or 10 things that I'm grateful for. So I started creating content and I wrote my list. And that list included my wife, my son, my mom, my support system, my business coach, my body, my hardships, my journey, and of course, all of you. These things have been the foundation of making my 2019 what it was and what it has been. My wife has kept me grounded. My son has reminded me of what's truly important, including sleep. My mom for being her quirky self. My support system of friends for checking in on me and lifting me up. My business coach, because I'm not sure if I would have gotten where I am right now the way I did without her. My body for reminding me to slow down. My hardships for teaching me persistence and resilience. My journey and all of its lessons. And of course, all of you all for holding me accountable and challenging me to be consistent, even if you didn't even know you were. So I made this list and I had it all written out, but I wanted more. I still had more journeying to do. So what else was on my mind? What else did I want to talk about? I did some thinking about just this month and the different types of gratitude that I've expressed, that I've shown, that I've written about and journaled about each day, and all that it encompasses and what it actually means. And so I landed on what is going to be today's episode. 3 life lessons that I am grateful for. Now, I'm a Leo, which means that I can sometimes be stubborn. I'm not going to lie. It takes me time to adjust to change and to come around to things. I don't like spontaneity. I like creating spontaneity, but when it's sprung up on me, it takes some time for me to warm up. But life has a way of teaching you things, whether you want to learn them or not. And for me, these lessons have definitely been the best teacher. There's nothing like a "see, I told you," blanketed in wisdom, love, and support to keep you on the right track. So, with that in mind, let's get to journeying with today's episode. Now, these 3 lessons are the ones that consistently make appearances in my life. Just when I think I'm good and I got them down packed, they come back around. Maybe it's because I haven't truly grasped them, or maybe they are my lifelong reminders, but they have always stuck with me and have become my go-to when I'm coaching others. So, the first lesson I'm grateful for: no matter what, always be kind. Now, kindness is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. While kindness is a skill that many possess, I think that there are a select few in this world where kindness is a part of their gift, something that is just truly a part of them. I believe that kindness and compassion go hand in hand. Kindness is not simply holding the door open for someone or buying their lunch. Kindness is seeing people as who they truly are, when others overlook them, and then being of service to them in a way that they need most for them. Kindness is one of those fundamental things necessary for human existence. We all need it. We all crave it. When we're having the worst day, it never fails that someone's random act of kindness breaks us open cause us to be vulnerable, and then creates a sense of gratitude that we have forgotten we possessed, and creates a sense of gratitude that reminds us that everything is going to be okay. I wholeheartedly believe that. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battles, and we must always seek compassion, even when we may not be able to understand. So that person who cut you off this morning, the person who didn't say thank you when you held open the door, that person that was just downright nasty to you at work, show them kindness and compassion. Now, don't get me wrong, kindness doesn't mean weak or to let folks walk all over you. It simply means remove your ego and how you feel that they made you feel and made you look, and go forth and react from your heart. Our words, our energy, and our light have the potential to impact another human being's life in so many ways, and that is something that should not be taken lightly. Have you ever had someone show you kindness? How did it shift your day? Did it make an impact? Don't take that power lightly. When people are in the presence of kindness, they can't help but feel joy. I've said it before, and actually dedicated last week's episode to it, but we all get so caught up in the busyness of our own lives that we forget to stop and immerse ourselves in the moments where we can take time and step outside of ourselves and raise somebody else up who needs support. Because when we give other people the space to be seen and do better, we are able to be seen and do better. Now for me, showing kindness to others has always been a gift that I possess, but the true lesson has been in showing kindness to myself. I am truly my harshest critic, and the way I've been known to speak to myself has been downright rude. I would never say some of the things I've said to myself to my son. Never. But yet, I've said them to myself over and over again. I've had to constantly remind myself that I too am a person, and I deserve kindness from myself first. And that leads me right into the next lesson on my list. Give yourself grace and space. Grace is all about accepting yourself as you are, forgiving your mistakes, and loving your imperfect mess fully. And for me, this is where I spend most of my personal time and energy. Yes, I am the journey coach, but I've got plenty to work on. And so I'm constantly giving myself space and grace. And I'm going to take a moment right now and share a few areas and get real about how and where and what it looks like with me practicing this. I have 3 different examples. Number 1, I feel like I'm a crap mother. Sure, I'm doing my best, quote unquote, but oftentimes I feel like I just don't measure up, that I'm not doing the best for Adonis that I could. My response? I give myself space and grace because this is my first time raising a human who depends fully on me. Sure, I'm not perfect, but at the end of the day, I've kept him alive for damn near 2 years, so I must be doing something right. And he is just fine. He is the most awesome, gentle, perfect little boy who sleeps when only he wants to that I could have ever asked for. Number 2, I feel like Journey Girl Magic is never going to take off, and I feel like I'm failing as an entrepreneur. My response: I give myself space and grace because I know that the work I do truly makes a difference. I have already achieved my mission and my affirmation of creating spaces for women to be seen and heard and feel supported. I succeeded the day I launched Journey Girl Magic, and every day it grows and touches more lives than I will ever know. I make a difference, and I create space for others to live and become the best version of themselves. Number 3, I feel like I am not the best wife. I struggle with intimacy and affection, and I always wish that I could do more to show my wife that I love her. My response: I give myself space and grace because I know that my wife loves me for me and knows that I love her like no one else. She never doubts my love for her, and together we will continue to learn and grow in our journey as soulmates. So these are just a few of the areas where I struggle. I'm currently struggling. But it's important for you all to see this side. So as I said, This area of space and grace constantly calls for my attention. It forces me to be vulnerable, authentic, and real. But I know that by giving myself grace, I give myself the support I need to continue improving and growing and transforming into the best version of myself. And our final lesson: everything happens for a reason. Now, I know that this one may get some mixed reviews from people, but I believe that that's mainly because of how it's used. This phrase is most often said as a response when something bad happens. So, for example, my dog passed away. Well, everything happens for a reason, and it was his time. He's in a better place. Yes, this is true. And also, that may not be the thing that that person most needs to hear in that moment. I interpret this lesson of everything happens for a reason as saying, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn? What purpose does this hold in my journey? This spin on it changes everything. I am no longer saying everything happens for a reason as a response or an excuse for something. I am embracing it, cracking it open, and searching for deeper meaning. I don't want a blanket answer. I want to know how it applies for me and my journey specifically. So using the same example that I just mentioned of a dearly loved family pet passing away, what does this passing show you or remind you? In those sad moments, remember the first memories of when they came home, the excitement and nervousness of having a new addition to the family that you were responsible for. Remember the laughter of the first bath. Remember the shock and anger the first time they pooped on the floor. Be reminded of what it feels like to love another being unconditionally and to be able to look at them in the eyes and realize that they do the same. You see, this lesson is the one that I hold most dear. It's an eternal one that keeps revealing lessons and keeps teaching. Everything happening for a reason means that while a situation may be significant, the knowledge that comes after it is what's truly life-changing. So, these 3 lessons, no matter what, always be kind, give yourself space and grace, and everything happens for a reason, have been the guide and the scenery on my journey. They have and will continue to shape who I am and refine and reveal my purpose in life. And for that, I am grateful. Good stuff, right? All right, so now time for reflection work. What is one lesson that you have encountered in life that you are grateful for? How has it impacted you? What have you learned, and what do you hope to continue learning from it? Head on over to our free private Facebook group, Journey Girl Magic, and share. I'm really looking forward to seeing these lessons and how they have shaped you and made you the imperfect badass that you are. So I hope that everyone has a great holiday and is reminded of the things that they are truly grateful for. The people, the things, and the lessons. And with that, I look forward to journeying with you all again next week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, if you celebrate. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. I'm so appreciative and grateful for your time and your listening ear. Show notes for this episode can be found at journeygirlmagic.com/podcasts and by clicking on today's episode. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the Journey Girl Magic podcast to be the first to know when a new episode becomes available. You can also leave a review and let me know how this podcast is helping you on your journey. I read them all. I look forward to journeying with you next week, and remember, it's your journey, so show up, be vulnerable, practice gratitude, be a badass, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. Welcome to your journey.